Hello, and welcome to Van Halen 1984, a rock synthesizer era. My name is Courtney Wilcox, and I am currently a student at Full Sail University and an audio post-production engineer. Today I will be discussing a bit about Van Halen's album 1984 and why it really changed rock and roll in the mid to late 1980s, early 90s. Van Halen's 1984 was their first album to really feature the heavy use of a synthesizer rather than just the standard guitar solo heard on previous albums. This was Eddie Van Halen's doing. Eddie wanted to expand the sound of the band to include keyboards, even if it was to the disliking of David Lee Roth, who was the vocalist at the time. The song on 1984 that features keys more than guitars is Jump. This song alone had a massive impact on the music industry, music of its kind, and the electronic music market. I decided to take a listen to Van Halen's albums prior to 1984 all the way up through their latest popular album, A Different Kind of Truth. I noticed the drastic change in Van Halen's music after 1984 was released. Though Eddie's guitar playing would always be a part of the songwriting process, a lot of songs were either solely focused on keys or they included memorable key licks throughout. If we look at other music in the mid to late 80s of most genres of music, the synthesizer or keyboard is a major part of a band or artist's sound. Though I don't believe that Van Halen's 1984 was the sole purpose for this change, I do believe that they had a particularly special impact on hard rock or metal at the time. When it comes to being influential in the electronic music market, after 1984 was released, various music department stores noted an exponential increase in keyboard sales, with many of the people purchasing them coming in attempting to play the classic keyboard solo featured in Jump. As an industry professional, I strongly encourage people to analyze the effect of this particular album on other artists of the time, especially given the fact that the 80s were already the breeding ground for electronic music of various sorts. Here is just another example of how electronic music continues to grow in different applications through the 80s to today. Van Halen has a very special place in my heart both as a listener and industry professional. This is extremely true when it comes to the songs Jump, which is on the album 1984, but also Right Now, which is featured on For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I grew up with Van Halen playing in the house all the time or hearing my dad playing the various key and organ parts in various songs of theirs. I don't think had Eddie Van Halen not included keys from 1984 onwards, that Van Halen would have the same impact on me as a listener. My dad wouldn't have played it on the keys, and it wouldn't have been something that I could listen to as a young girl and make memories with. As an industry professional, it's a brilliant example of how a general music innovation, electronic instruments in this case, can be used and modified over different genres to enhance the outcome. The album 1984 was a perfect example of how a musician could use this new technology to enhance their creativity without having to fit the mold of being an electronic music artist or DJ. That's all the time I have for now, so thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a rockin' day.